Good morning, people. This is Joe Bernstein here, and I want to talk to you today on this Veterans Day holiday, in not in any way, shape, or form about my business. Um, Really, just to actually truly give thanks to veterans, thanks to anyone who served, thanks to people who've tried to serve. Um, and what I want to do is I actually want to be an advocate for the work of Sebastian Younger, and I actually want to be an advocate for the rest of us who've not lived a military lifestyle, or don't necessarily have a lot of roots connected to military, to learn what we can learn about our human experience, from those that have been in the military by studying military, by studying what happens to military veterans when they return back to civilian life, to studying what happens to people at war, to studying PTSD. These are things that actually really help us understand our own lives, our own communities, our own tribes, our own mental health as well too. And I've gotten many gifts from the experience. So as the story goes, a few years back, I recognized there was opportunity for me to get out of my comfort zone in the way I served. I've been doing a lot of men's work. I'm doing a lot of personal growth work, but I felt like there were other communities or other experiences that I could have to actually grow deeper and richer. And I'm someone who grew up with nobody in my entire family as a military veteran. Well, that's not true. My grandfather on my mother's side, amazing man. He flew planes in World War II, but he never talked about it. He didn't display any of his military stuff. He acted as if he never was in that experience. Right? It's just one of these things that I knew about, but there's no feeling of being in a military family or having a lot of, I didn't have cousins or a lot of friends necessarily, except for a couple that went into the military. So I found myself pretty blind to the military experience. But I really wanted to shift my perspective and shift my awareness of life and what people go through and what challenges people come across and what we can learn from overcoming obstacles. So it was maybe about 3 years ago, maybe four at this point, and I challenged myself to do some different kind of work. A coach I was working with at the time, he was starting a nonprofit volunteer coaching process or coaching program for military vets. I joined in that, learned a ton. Additionally, I did something called Vets Journey Home, which was a live experience on staff, me serving military veterans to do some deep, deep work on themselves and their lives. And so I started to get really curious about the experiences of those that have gone off to war, the experiences of military veterans. There was a time in my life where I just thought like, well, that's what people do when they can't afford college or they're not a good student. You go and join the military. It was a really blind and ignorant perspective, and I didn't understand it. And I was raised very peaceable. I was raised not to support necessarily war efforts or defense spending or violence in any way. So I had a real blind spot to understanding the experience of the rest of the Americans who serve in the military and people around the world. So I dig into many things. These live experiences were the most profound thing possible. Additionally, connecting more deeply with men I know through different experience and women I know through different experience who were military service. You can learn a lot, but I highly recommend the work of Sebastian Younger. Sebastian Younger's work explores all kinds of understandings of how we relate as group members, what belonging really means, what it looks like when people have a shared mission and they focus on achieving that mission together. What people get when they have more purpose in their lives. There's a tribe, there's a brotherhood, what community really feels like when everyone's operating from the same values and has the same mission, even when we have very different backgrounds and experiences. Additionally, what you can learn from military veterans is a lot about discipline and focus on training the mind and the body. And of course, devoting one's life to service, which to me, love and service are essentially the bottom line of the human experience. To gain the most out of life, to give the most out of life, there's a commitment to love and service. So I want you to actually not just post today about, thank a veteran or celebrate Veterans Day. It's cute to go on and share a meme or to just say thank you for your service. But I'm actually going to challenge you to be a creator in your life. If you've had experiences in the military, thank you. if you're ever open to it, be willing to share more deeply about some of the things that you miss from that experience. If you haven't, I actually really challenge you to learn a little bit more about military experience, to learn about PTSD, to learn about what happens on the front lines, and to learn about what people go through, even if they've never been to war, but they have served in the military, because it's fascinating to learn that too. So check out Sebastian Junger's work. Of course, his book Tribe was amazing. The two feature documentaries he has, Restrepo and Corangle, are phenomenal and changed my life. They're moving, they're powerful. Sit down and watch them when you have a lot of emotional capacity, where you can hold a lot of space for your own emotion that's going on through these experiences. So that's what I got for you. For anyone who did serve, thank you very much. For anyone who supported those who've served, who's close to them, who've been in their lives, who've loved service members, thank you. And for everyone else, educate, learn, understand what you're saying when you're saying thank you for your service. That's what I got for you for right now. I'm sure I'll be back on at some point today. Peace.